The year is 2025. The world watches with bated breath. India and Pakistan, nuclear-armed rivals, stand on the precipice of a full-blown war. Decades of mistrust, fueled by territorial disputes and cross-border terrorism, have brought tensions to a boiling point. The recent attack in Kashmir, a region simmering with unrest, has ignited a firestorm. The spectre of war, once unthinkable, now looms large. The situation is dire. Both nations have mobilized troops along the border. Skirmishes have erupted. The rhetoric is heated. The international community is scrambling, urging restraint. But the drums of war continue to beat, their rhythm growing more insistent with each passing day. The world holds its breath. The consequences of a full-scale war between India and Pakistan would be catastrophic, not just for the region, but for the entire world. The potential for a nuclear exchange, however remote, is a chilling reminder of the stakes involved. India and Pakistan possess formidable military might. Years of arms build-up have resulted in a precarious balance of power. India boasts the world's fourth largest military, with over 1.4 million active personnel. Its arsenal includes a sophisticated array of weaponry, including 4,300 tanks, 2,100 aircraft, and a potent nuclear arsenal of 150 to 160 warheads. Pakistan, despite its smaller size, fields a formidable military force of 654,000 troops. Its military strength lies in its 2,200 to 2,400 tanks, 1,300 to 1,400 aircraft, and a nuclear arsenal estimated at 165 to 175 warheads. Pakistan has repeatedly asserted its right to use nuclear weapons in defense of its sovereignty, a chilling reminder of the potential for escalation. This clash of arms, should it escalate, would be unlike any the world has ever seen. The technological sophistication of their respective arsenals, coupled with the sheer destructive power of their nuclear weapons, paints a grim picture. A full-scale war would unleash unimaginable destruction. The human cost of a full-scale war between India and Pakistan is too horrifying to contemplate. Millions of lives would be at risk. Major cities, home to teeming millions, lie within easy striking distance of each other. Delhi, Mumbai, Karachi, Lahore, all would be vulnerable to devastating attacks. Casualty estimates vary, but the numbers are staggering. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions, could perish in the initial onslaught. The use of nuclear weapons, even on a limited scale, would multiply the death toll exponentially. The long-term effects of radiation poisoning would continue to haunt the region for generations. Beyond the immediate carnage, the war would trigger a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented proportions. Millions would be displaced from their homes, seeking refuge in overcrowded camps. Food and water shortages would be widespread. Disease would run rampant. The economic fallout of a war between India and Pakistan would reverberate throughout the world. India, a rising economic powerhouse, would see its hard-won gains wiped out. Its globalized economy, deeply integrated into international supply chains, would grind to a halt. Exports, including pharmaceuticals vital to global health, would cease. Pakistan, though less integrated into the global economy, would also face economic ruin. Sanctions, coupled with the destruction of its infrastructure, would cripple its already fragile economy. The Indus Water Treaty, a vital lifeline for Pakistan's agriculture, would likely collapse, further exacerbating the crisis. The global economy would not be spared. The conflict would trigger a global recession. Oil prices would skyrocket. Financial markets would plunge into chaos. The interconnectedness of the global economy means that the impact of this war would be felt in every corner of the world. Section 5. Neighbors engulfed. A ripple effect of chaos. The flames of war, once ignited, would inevitably spread beyond India and Pakistan's borders. Neighboring countries, Nepal, Bangladesh, China, Afghanistan, would be drawn into the vortex of conflict. The influx of refugees alone would overwhelm their resources. Bangladesh, already grappling with the Rohingya crisis, would face a new humanitarian catastrophe. Nepal, sandwiched between the warring giants, would struggle to maintain its neutrality. Afghanistan, already a hotbed of instability, would see a resurgence in militant activity. China, with its close ties to Pakistan and its own strategic interests in the region, would be forced to take a more active role. The potential for a wider conflict, drawing in other regional powers, cannot be discounted. The entire region would be plunged into a state of chaos and instability. Section 6. The world reacts, a concert of condemnation and intervention. The international community would react to a full-scale India-Pakistan war with a mixture of condemnation and frantic diplomacy. The United Nations Security Council would convene emergency sessions demanding an immediate ceasefire. The United States, caught between its strategic partnership with India and its counter-terrorism cooperation with Pakistan, would face agonizing choices. Russia, with its long-standing ties to India and its growing influence in the region, would likely play the role of mediator. The Gulf states, particularly Saudi Arabia and the UAE, would also leverage their close relationships with both countries to try and broker a peace deal. The specter of nuclear war would galvanize global action. The international community would bring to bear immense diplomatic and economic pressure on both sides to step back from the brink. The world cannot afford to stand by and watch as two nuclear-armed nations engage in a self-destructive conflict. Would be long and arduous. Section 8. Avoiding Armageddon, a plea for diplomacy. The only way to avert this catastrophic scenario is through dialogue and diplomacy. India and Pakistan must find a way to resolve their differences peacefully. The international community has a vital role to play in facilitating this process. The alternative, a full-scale war, is simply unthinkable. The stakes are too high, the potential consequences too horrific. The world cannot afford the risk. The time for dialogue is now, before it's too late. The future of South Asia, and indeed the world, hangs in the balance. The world is watching, hoping that cooler heads will prevail. Section 9. The uncertain future, a shadow over South Asia. As the year 2025 progresses, the specter of war continues to cast a long shadow over South Asia. The situation remains volatile, with the potential for miscalculation or escalation ever present. The world watches, prays, and hopes for a peaceful resolution. The international community continues its frantic diplomatic efforts, but the path to peace is fraught with obstacles. The legacy of mistrust runs deep. The wounds of the past are slow to heal. The future remains uncertain. The hope for peace, while fragile, still flickers. The world can only hope that this flicker will not be extinguished in the darkness of war.